guys, Asher coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Thank you for taking a little bit out of your day to join me talking Raid. This should be a good one, guys. I'm going to give you, in my opinion, the 20 strongest combinations, 2 champion combinations inside the game. Some of these will be those tandem kind of companion champions, such as like Siphi and Rotos, you know, but a lot of these will just be like random champions that happen to go really, really well together. And on some of these, you don't need necessarily these 2 champions, just 2 champions like them to have beautiful synergy together. And if you ever want to see a guide on any of these champions, like really getting into the gameplay and how to build them together, just let me know in the comments below, because when making this list, I thought, damn, this is going to be a freaking good video. There's some really interesting combos, and I'm sure I'm going to snub a lot there. I went through all the champions in the game, and I'm like, wait a second, that's a really good combo too. I totally snubbed that combo. So I want to hear from you guys. Who are your favorite champions that you use together, and they're just so much more powerful than they are used with other champions or just in a vacuum? Let's start with some rare champions. There's actually a few rares on the list, and it's going to be good old Frozen Banshee and right next door, Grave Chill Killer, right? So I think this combo is really, really fun. Grave Chill, Frozen Banshee, good champion, really good champion. Grave Chill Killer, not so much, but when you put her with Frozen Banshee, a lot better.
It was always kooks and pokes. Some people with everything, and some with nothing.
Wait, what do you mean?
I do all the work.
Frozen Banshee has the poison on the A1 if the target's under poison sensitivity, which she does have on her A3 ability. Poison sensitivity on a 3-turn cooldown. You love to see it. And then we look at Grave Chill Killer, and she has a poison on the A1. She has a decreased defense and a decreased defense, the big version decreased defense if the target is under a poison debuff. So she's bringing the big version decreased defense for the clan boss on that A2 ability. And then she attacks an enemy 2 times. Each hit places a big version of poison if the target, is under poison sensitivity. Again, Frozen Banshee has that on her A3 ability. Is that the most OP combo that we'll be talking about in today's video? No. But it's a fun one, and it really gives a champion that's really mediocre to say the best about this champion, Grave Chill. I think they were added the same day, right, to the game a couple years ago, 3 years ago, I don't know. Losing track of time here in the game, but either way, a really, really fun combination. Let's keep kicking it old school for a moment here, guys. And I had to include good old Skullcrown and Sinesha. So they're sisters or cousins or sisters or
beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, chicken, turkeys, rat, you name it.
I'm gonna call them sisters. AoE on the A1, AoE on the A2, unkillable for days. You know Skullcrown's kit. But then From Beyond revives this champion with 30% HP when Sinesha's on the same team. So not only is she unkillable, preempting a fatal hit when her HP drops below 20%, or I should say not preempting a fatal hit, but when it drops below 20%. But then on top of that, she's going to revive herself if Sinesha is on the same team. A really, really fun combination there. Sinesha also has an AoE, place an extra hit on enemies with less than 50% HP after the first hit, whereas Skullcrown's is more than, so nice synergy on the A1s as well. She's got the skills on cooldown, and then she's got the nice big heal there as well. And again, just the synergy of the A1s being opposite, but also being an extra hitter, and just having those AoEs, great for a blender comp, right? But really good basically anywhere. Good in control too. You can put them both in a stun set and just lock down with those A1s and keep reviving Skullcrown again and again and again. So Sinesha and Skullcrown is next up. I'm gonna go with another obvious one, guys. I promise they're not all this obvious, but I had to include Venus and Cupidus, man. Venus becomes one of the best champions inside the entire game for my money when we put her with Cupidus, because she has this insane A4 that unlocks. She has a poison on the A1. She's got decreased defense and weaken with an AoE attack on the A2, 3-turn cooldown. Don't even need to book it up for an extra cooldown. On the A3, you got an HP burn for 2 turns on a 4-turn cooldown. But then the A4 that opens up if Cupidus is on the same team, it removes all buffs from all enemies and then has a 50-50 coin flip of granting an extra turn. Dude, that's nasty, that's crazy. I can't believe that they gave her a buff. Same thing with Cupidus. Cupidus has a hard-hitting AoE on his A1 ability, and when Venus is on the same team, he always counterattacks when he's attacked, and he inflicts 25% more damage. What? It's sick, it's disgusting, it's a lot of damage when Venus is on the same team. Extra damage and then counterattack every single time with the AoE. Damage increased by 15%. The target has any other buffs. He also has an HP burn, HP burn? An AoE HP burn on the A2, and he has a hard-hitting flame out single target ability with increased attack that he's bringing in his own kit. Cupidus and Venus, a very, very, very formidable duo indeed. All right, next up, guys, we have this is a good one, man. Mordecai. Really cool burner, really cool champion. He's got the AoE decreased turn meters, fills the turn meters of all allies. Then he's got that great burn that's not predicated on a critical hit or anything like that. He's just placing it with an increased attack while we're at it on all allies for 3 turns. But you put this great burner with my man here. He is Demon Spawn, right? He is a he, isn't he? I never understood what creature this dude is. But it's Atchak the Wenderin, right? They're both Force Affinity champions. Check out this passive, guys. That's all you need to know about this combo. Heals all allies by 5% of their max HP every time an enemy under an HP burn debuff gets a turn. What? That's insane heals. And then you got turn meter fill every time a freeze, and he has freeze in his own kit as well, right? But just the synergy there between really any burner, but I love those two as a pairing. On Spider, think about all those Spiderlings. Every time they get a turn, we're going to get a heal on everybody. It's amazing. It's an amazing sight to see. I love that combo. And of course, Atchak the Wenderin can pair with another burner. Another one is, Akoth. Akoth the Seared is another option for you guys. An AoE burn, chances increase for every debuff, or excuse me, for each enemy alive, my bad. So pair him with that HP burn with Atchak again on Spider, and you're going to be looking at some really, really amazing results there in terms of the heal, not to mention the turn meter increase with that A3 on the freeze of Atchak the Wenderin. All right, guys, next one is going to be a big one. Oh, Calvalax, how elusive are you, Calvalax? Not on my team. I wish he was, but places 4 poison debuffs on all enemies for 2 turns at the start of each round. Let me repeat that. Has 4 poisons on all enemies for 2 turns at the start of each round. Well, you can pair him with really any combustor. Shot to Xavia, shot to Erenil, and Eleanoril, excuse me. But my personal fave is, so we don't have to go anywhere, we can just stay right here next door. It's Theodore the Savant. On his A3, increase the duration of all poison debuffs and HP burn debuffs on all enemies by 1 turn. Then instantly activates any poison debuffs and HP burn debuffs on all enemies. What does that mean? It means that all those poisons that we're starting the round by placing them on all enemies, they're going to be instantly activated and have their turns increased as well. That's a ton of damage. Again, when it comes to poison combustors, I decided to go with Theodore and Calvalax because that would be like my god tier. But there's so many cool combos, you know, like Sissia and any HP burn champion, or Sissia kind of like by herself, right? Or Theodore as well. So there's a lot of combos out there. But to me, again, Theodore and Calvalax are the, you know, the top-notch example. He also has a poison and a poison sensitivity on all enemies and increased speed on all allies and an AoE decreased speed on the A1. What in the world? Theodore the Savant, and a defense-based champion too, is a really, really freaking good champion. The next one here is a little bit niche, but I had to include it because, and you guys are gonna hate me because whenever I talk about the second champion, you guys, I always get the comments. I always don't even say his name, but it's Godseeker Aniri. For my money, one of the strongest epics inside the entire game. She has a great kit in her own right, but especially, not to mention this revive on death, or this preempt a fatal hit with a revive on death. But this cooldown, it's so unique, it's so freaking powerful, it's so underrated by a lot of players out there in the game. I think people are finally starting to catch on, right? Not you guys, you're smart, my viewers are smart, but you know, the other players.
But it made it like that.
Revives a dead ally, fills a turn meter, and resets the cooldown of all of their skills. That is amazing. It's incredible. It's super powerful. I'm going to go with Godseeker, Aniri, and Ninja, actually, right? Now, this could work with other champions, too, like Geomancer. Basically, champions that have an absolutely broken ability. So, Geo's Quicksand Grasp, for example. But I'm going to go with Ninja because Ninja, of course, has that A2 ability that you all know, the Hail Burn that instantly, and it places and instantly activates on the same ability, HP burns. So you can have, basically, I just put out a video, I don't know, a week or two ago, about Ninja and Godseeker and Eerie duoing stage 25, or excuse me, stage 24 of Sand Devil's Necropolis, basically thanks to that revival resetting the hail burn. So after that hard-hitting A3 of the Sand Devil, Ninja gets revived, and then while the Sand Devil's asleep, he's able to, no matter what, Hailburn will be off cooldown. He's able to go in there and instantly deal that damage, right? So I'm going to go with those two as a combo. I absolutely love them. This one is a little bit, you don't typically talk about these champions all the time together, but I've been running this duo for so long, and I love it, especially with Stone Skin. It's Madame Ceres in the arena, opening in with Midnight Ritual. Actually, I take that back. She's going to go second, so let me just start off where the team starts off. And that is with my man Prince Kymar, right? So Prince Kymar comes in, he attacks all enemies, he removes all their buffs, and then he places a sleep debuff for 1 turn. Now we have a 50-50 shot at removing Stone Skin as well with this ability, but either way, he's putting them to sleep, so we don't want to be doing damage, but we still want to, A, have another shot at removing Stone Skin, right? And B, we want to place decreased defense, a decreased attack on them, right? So Madame Ceres can come in there. After Prince Kymar goes, he has 1 chance at removing all those buffs, and if they don't get all the buffs, Madame Ceres comes in. She has another shot at removing all of their buffs, aka, again, Stone Skin. And then we place the debuffs without waking up the sleeping enemies, so our nuker can come in after that. So really, really strong combo, especially right now in the arena meta. I love running both of these champions in tandem on my one of my main speed teams. All right, let's get it out of the way, guys. We mentioned it earlier. It's Siphi and Rotos, right? So, I mean, Siphi's incredible, right? What else do I just say about her? She's got the irresistible sleep. She's got the block debuff stuff, the increased defense, increased speed, turn meter fill, revival with a full turn meter. Thank you very much. But then she has this passive where she removes all debuffs from Rotos to Lost Groom at the start of their turn if they're on the same team. So if Rotos gets a stun, if Rotos gets, it doesn't matter what he gets, decreased attack, any sort of CC, any sort of debuff, he's going to be cleansed before he goes, no matter what. They're already 2 of the best champions in the game. You know, forget that. But then when you put them on the same team to get that cleanse out of one of the hardest hitting champions in the game who gets an extra turn, decrease the damage taken from bosses, decrease the damage taken from bosses by 30% if City's on the same team, extra damage mitigation, you're looking really, really good with that combo. It's one of my, if not my favorite, in, to me, sheer power. The most powerful duo in the arena right now is Rotos and Siphi, still, to this day, years after they've been released, in my opinion at least. Oh, this is a good one here, guys. Let's go to my man, Mortu Macabre. Mortu Macabre is such a nuisance in the arena. Speaking of nuisance, again, look at this over here. See the cursor on the screen? Man, what is going on with these lines? I think it's light getting into my studio. Sorry, guys. I digress. Back at it here. 20% chance to unlock a secret skill, Peril. Peril is basically going to kill anybody, 2 shots, and it blocks revival, and it ignores shields, and it ignores block damage as well. So what kind of champion do we want to be really annoying when paired with Mortu Macabre? Maybe a champion that, I don't know, prevents us from hitting Mortu Macabre with both of them in Stone Skin. Ultimate Death Knight. I hate going against UDK and Mortu Macabre on the same team. Whenever an ally is attacked, has a 100% chance of completely blocking 1 hit, decreasing the incoming damage to 0. Very, very, very strong. He'll be eating up everything, basically. Anything single target, I should say. Going to Mortu Macabre, who you really want to get rid of ASAP on a team. But think about it. You build a very slow Ultimate Death Knight in Stone Skin. You build a Mortu Macabre slow in Stone Skin, and then you put a Reviver on the team. That's a nasty, nasty, and a very annoying combination indeed to go against. Next up, guys, is going to be another legendary combo. I promise we have some non-legendaries coming up in just a moment here. Duchess has a million amazing combinations, right? She's got the damage mitigation. She's got the revival with Veils. She's got another perfect Veil on everybody on her A2. She's got the increased attack. So who would do really well with increased attack, perfect Veil, more Veils, a little bit extra damage mitigation? Who would do really well? How about same faction demon spawn, none other than Candyman? Now, when Candyman is under a perfect veil or veil, he's going to be increasing his damage. He's going to be receiving less damage. He's going to be boosting turn meter each time this champion receives a veil or perfect veil. I mean, good God, right? I mean, that's a lot of extra synergy between veils and perfect veils. Now, granted, he has them in his kit as well, but what better, especially in these longer battles or a go second team, to have Duchess and Canderfont together? I mean, this attack with the extra damage under the veil or perfect veil is going to be brilliant, amazing. One of my favorite go second nukers. I've said it so many times. He's one of the most powerful go seconds inside the entire game, which says a lot about an attack-based champion, okay? Next up, guys, is going to be my favorite rare stun combo in the game. There's so much content in this game that the best way to beat it is just stunning them to death.
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
Putting Bellower in a stun set, picking up Fearsome Presence Tier 6 Mastery from the defense tree, it's on the final, rung, it's going to give you an extra 5% chance to land a stun from artifacts as well. So not only does he have block active skills on an AoE, a decreased speed on an AoE, a decreased attack, a decreased defense, all on an AoE attack on every single ability, but when you pair him with a champion who's one of my absolute faves, rares in the game, Soulbound Boyer, she has an AoE on her A1, extra 25% chance of inflicting a critical hit. Put her in a stun set, put Bellower in a stun set, and it's my favorite stun combo in the game, man. You get a 23% on every one of their hits if you're using just the A1 on Soulbound, of stunning everybody, and Soulbound can actually do some additional damage. She has a full turn meter depletion on her A3. Then you have all those debuffs and decreased speed, helping more to control the match, the speed of the match from Bellower. I love running this rare combo together, guys. All right, next up is going to be, I've said this before, man, but there's no better, and I repeat, there is no better for my money setup champion in the game for a bomb champion than Yoshi the Drunkard. Okay, so his A3, he's giving you the two most important buffs for bomb champion, Soul Drinker, Gaius the Gleeful, War Mother, Lord Shazar, you name it, whoever your bomb champion of choice is, increase attack and increase accuracy. That's exactly what you want. The attack is going to increase the damage of your bombs exponentially, and then the increased accuracy is going to make sure that you're actually landing those bombs, right? So that is the best setup for a bomb champion in the game. I love this champion. You also have True Fear on all enemies, which is fantastic. 50-50 chance to lose their turn and reset the cooldown of their ability. So I'm going to go ahead and pair him with my personal favorite, who is Gaius the Gleeful. Again, extra accuracy, going to help with the sleep, going to help with the bombs, going to help with the detonation of the bombs. He's my favorite bomb champion in the game. I really love this champion, but Yoshi really makes him amazing in terms of that setup. Now listen, guys, I could choose so many champions to go with Seer, right? I mean, pick your champ. Seer is so freaking good. Karma Burn does so much damage, but the amount of damage it does is predicated on how many buffs you have on your team. So we need a lot of good buffers alongside her. Now, I could easily pair her too with Prince Kaimar or Yumeko, basically someone who's going to cause her to activate, go into the next round, reset the abilities, and then activate again, which is how most people run a Seer team if they're lucky enough to have one of those champions alongside of her. But I'm just going to go ahead and pick one of my old school favorite champions to pair her with. Archmage Helmet's great. He's got 3 buffs on 1 ability, but I'm still a massive fan of Mausoleum Mage with increased crit rate, increased defense, and block debuffs. And what I usually do, guys, I put him in a shield set too. That way we get all the shields, we get the crit rate, we get the defense, we get the block debuffs. He's bringing 4 buffs to the table to help activate that Karma Burn ability. Love Mausoleum Mage. Even in a vacuum, he's got a cleanse too and a heal too and turn meter fill. This guy's so good. Decreased speed on the A1. Why not? Why not? So good. All right, next up, guys, is going to be, of course, they're going to be on the list, guys. It's Marichka the Unbreakable.
It's been a
Can't believe I finally said it.
Unbelievable champion, one of the strongest heals in the game, along with a protected strengthen buff. And then we get turn meter fill and a cleanse here, increased resistance on the A3, and then this giving all this nasty passive, guys. This light is still bugging me out here in the corner, but it almost like fits with the motif of the screen. I'm going to pretend that it's on purpose. Just a little flair for you guys. Revive all dead allies, 50% HP, 75% turn meter whenever this champion is killed. What? That's really annoying to go against in the arena. I'll tell you what, you kill everybody, and then you get this tanky Marichka. You finally kill her, then everybody pops back up. It's awful. It's awesome when she's on your team. Block damage on all allies whenever they receive any bomb, poison, or HP burn debuffs. Block damage is built in. I love it. Love it. So very, very, very good champion. And then her Ukrainian lore champion companion is Taras the Fierce, probably the hottest champion in the game for the arena. Whenever an enemy attacks, Marichka the Unbreakable attack the enemy with this skill. He just comes in and stuns them with double damage for 2 turns, dude. Anytime someone attacks Marichka. What? In AoE, big damage ability here in constant pressure. And then we have the all incoming damage and skills reduced by 50%. I think Marichka on her A1 has something too for him, right? Or am I making that? Yeah. If Taras is on the same team, there will always be another, he will always be the one to join this champion's attack on her A1. So Taras, where are you again? So he's going to be coming in and joining with filling the turn meter of all allies on his A1 when she goes with her A1, not to mention place the decreased attack on 2 hard-hitting attacks. Oh my word. That was a mouthful, guys. There's a lot to speak about on those 2 champions, but boy, are they freaking good. Next, guys, is going to be, this is going to be a fun one. Ykkarl the Scourge. I talked about this dude, and I think I called him like Scourge or something like that. My bad for mispronouncing Scourge, but anyway.
Scourge.
Ykkarl's really good. I want to draw your attention not to the Glaciate, the ability that he's known for, the AoE freeze, but the passive where he's doing more damage, 10% more damage for each champion under freeze in the battle, okay? Decrease the damage he receives by 10% for each freeze in the battle, and then he can open up with this A2, which ignores 50% of the target's defense when attacking an enemy under freeze, and he's stealing their entire turn meter. So he gets like basically back-to-back turns, right? If you attack someone with a full turn meter, you go in there, you ignore half their defense, you kill them, you place a increased speed on himself, why not, right? While you're at it, you steal their turn meter, and then you ignore half their defense, and you do more damage anyway. So all you got to do is set them up with a really, really nice freeze champion. There's a lot of them out there. I'm going to go ahead and give a nod to Galicia. Galicia's Soul Guide is really good. She has this ability, place a block debuff on all allies. Also has an 80% chance when booked of placing a freeze on all enemies for 1 turn. Fills this champion's turn meter by 50% for each freeze debuff placed by this skill. Now, of course, there's a lot of different freeze champions out there. There's also, Shirmani has an AoE freeze 100% land rate as well. Fills the champion's turn meter by 10% for each enemy attacked. Really, really good ability, and another good option if you don't have Galicia with Ykkarl the Scourge. Setting up with a freeze, having it come in with the A2, kill them because you're ignoring half defense, doing more damage from that passive. You guys get the rest. All right, next up, you guys, is going to be, you know I had to include my girl Syl the Drakes in the video. Syl, come on down!
Leave me alone.
Syl the Drakes, I love her passive, man. Heals all allies by 10% of their max HP at the start of each turn. Also places a 30% increased speed buff on a random ally for 2 turns. This is a great heal on a great passive on a great champion with a stun and a revival in her kit too. And you know what I love to pair her with, guys? Especially on my free-to-play account, is a dynamic duo of Syl the Drakes and, where are you? Why am I blind today? Doom Priest. 2 passives that are just churning both champions in a relentless set so they can take the back-to-back turns and trigger this even more. Heals all allies by 7.5% of their HP and removes 1 random debuff from them at the start of this champion's turn. So you get the 10% heal on Syl the Drakes, you get the 7.5 on Doom Priest, and then you get the cleanse on top of that, and the increased speed from Syl. That's a lot of passive energy, synergy, power that you're getting every single turn when you pair these 2 champions together. I really, really love those champions together. We have 4 more combos left, guys. Let's go on to the next one. And this one is actually, again, we haven't talked about that many champion combos in the game, but I love Manaya and Coronar, guys. I think they're really, really strong when paired together. I actually see them in the arena sometimes, even in Platinum Arena. I see these 2 champions being used together. So check out this passive. Fills the turn meter of all allies by 20% when this champion is killed. Revives this champion by 75% HP when killed if Koronar's on the same team on a 4-turn cooldown. That's really, really powerful. She got the self-revival with 75% HP, not to mention the turn meter fill when she dies as well, which is really, really nice there. She has a great heal on this ability here with block debuffs on this champion, or excuse me, for 2 turns on champions under increased defense, and then she has another really good heal here on the A2. Heals this champion and the ally with the lowest HP by 10,000 HP with heal reduction on all enemies. So I really like when these champions are together, because look at Koronar when they're together, guys. I mean, this is some serious stuff, right? So he's got the AoE, the turn meter on the A1, attacks all enemies 2 times instead of 1, and the chances of decreasing each turn meter increases to 100% if Manaya is on the same team. The damage of each hit will be decreased by 50%. So the amount of damage is the same, but we're getting a 10% turn meter decrease, excuse me, a 100% turn meter decrease, I can't read, instead of 50 on 2 hits on an A1. Sorry guys, that was a mouthful. Anyway, on the A2, dude, his kit just gets God mode with Manaya. Removes all debuffs from this champions before placing the block debuffs and increased defense. So he has a self-cleanse on his A2, which is an AoE provoke if Manaya is on the same team, not to mention the block debuffs and the increased defense. And then he has always counterattacks when hit. If Manaya is on the same team, that leads into more AoE attacks with more turn meter control and a lot of damage on that A1, provided Manaya is on the same team. Dude, that's a lot. That's a lot there with Manaya and Koronar, especially on Koronar's part, right? This next one's really, really fun, guys. It's going to be 2 rare champions who I am a massive fan of. I really want to make a video on them. There's a few videos out there already on these champions. It's not a new combo by any stretch of the imagination, but you guys let me know if you'd like to see this. It's Ironclad, who is a rare orc champion. He has Blood Burst. It's on a 1-turn cooldown, so it's always available, right? Every turn. When healed, will attack all enemies, inflicting damage proportional to any surplus heal. Damage inflicted is equal to 50% of any surplus heal. So all you got to do is put him with an OP healer. I mean, put him with a champion like Doom Priest and So the Drakes, and you get the passive heals pumping their extra damage into everybody vis-a-vis Blood Burst ability. Really, really fun. But personally, my favorite combination with him, and there's a lot of good healers out there, but going with another rare champion, I would recommend Chaplain, who is a Sacred Order rare Force Affinity champion. She removes all debuffs from a target ally, then heals the target. The amount of heal is proportional to this champion's attack. So we just scale up that attack really high, and we get big heals going in, a lot of surplus, and big nukes from Ironclad. She also heals all allies by 25% of the damage inflicted on the A3, so even more heals, even more damage from Ironclad. Really, really fun combo there. All right, guys, so next up is a champion that I actually just pulled, and boy, am I having fun with him. I have not experimented enough yet to release the video, but it's Noct the Paralyzer, man. Noct the Paralyzer is so freaking good, and he's got this passive. Heals this champion by 3% of his max HP, and all allies except this champion by 1% of this champion's max HP every time a poison debuff ticks on an enemy, okay? So every time a poison ticks, my man Noct heals himself by 3%, and then everybody by 1% of his max HP. He also has poison in his kit, so you could easily pair him with a champion like Bad Alcazar and just have more damage on enemies under poison while having the heals at the same time. Really fun there. But the guy that I'm excited to pair him with personally is going to be none other than the champion they just tried to absolutely kill us on in terms of the guaranteed opening. It's Shigor. So Shigor is actually bringing a poison for 4 turns on an AoE on a 3-turn cooldown. That's a lot of poison ticks, ladies and gentlemen. And then his Constant Agony passive is instantly attacks enemies with the default skill whenever they receive damage from a poison debuff placed by this champion. So he's also healing himself by 10% of the damage inflicted. So he is, every time a poison ticks, when you have these two champions together, we get knocked instantly healing everybody, and then we get Shigor instantly attacking everybody. Really, really cool combo. There's actually a ton of different combinations with Noct the Paralyzer, which is again why I can't wait, and I'm working hard on that video for you guys. Guys, it wouldn't be a combo video unless I spoke about the award-winning, world record-holding Guinness Book of World Records clan boss #1 team in the game, and it's Under Priest, Brogni, and Corpulent Cadaver. So a legendary and a rare. Legendary Under Priest Brogni has this ability that increases the value of shield buffs on all allies by 30% of the damage inflicted. He also brings a shield to the battle as well. So we have a shield, and then we have the Grow Shield ability, right? Now you put him with good old Corpulent. Where are you, Corpy? A1. Attacks one enemy. Inflicts additional damage if this champion is under a shield. The damage is equal to 30% of the value of the shield. So what if we're always growing this shield and growing it and growing it and growing it and increasing the duration of the shield with a champion like Krisk or Godseeker and Neri on the team? Well, you're going to equal a ton of damage thanks to the Brogni Grow Shield and the Crushing Mass ability of Corpulent Cadaver. A very, very fun combo. And the last, number 20 combo of the video, guys, is going to be, it's again, kind of an unorthodox one, but I wanted to include two of my favorite champions in the game and actually run them together in a few different areas in the game, namely Iron Twins 25 and Nether Spider every single level. And it's Geomancer because he's the GOAT, man. He's the GOAT epic in the game. I have to have him on the list, right? Even though we did give him a little honorable mention earlier. But anyway, Geomancer with Quicksand Grasp, fully depletes target's turn meter, fills the champion's turn meter to the amount the target loses, plays an HP burn and a weaken, and then it synergizes with a Stone Guard where they're doing a ton of damage vis-a-vis the HP burn based on the incoming damage. So what if we can keep this dude alive and still send all that damage back to the opponent? Well, there's a great champion to pair him with. As I said, a champion that I run Geo with on several different teams, and it's none other than, why am I undead? It's none other than Helicath, guys. Helicath is amazing. I had to include him in the video. He's got the block damage for 2 turns on a 4-turn cooldown, replacing that with increased defense, and then we're counterattacking with the block damage every single time as well. I love this combo. Again, keeping Geomancer alive, blocking all his incoming damage while still reflecting that damage back as long as the opponent's under his HP burn on that A3 ability, guys. That's going to do it. Those are all my combos. Who did I leave out? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see guides on any of these combos, let me know as well. Thank you for watching. And as always, take care, guys.